7-week process come to a close. PACT will be on the defense, and Vitality will be on the attack. What are we expecting from the bans? That's one that I'm pretty sure we're all expecting.
Yeah, Hibana coming off. No real surprise there. Just hope that we don't see the Thermite ban as well. That's something that I've seen too many times now on Bank, and it really does just make for, it makes the attacker's job very, very difficult in trying to clutch, in trying to push onto any of the bomb sites. Just, no. Okay. Okay. Lion.
Has someone missed the memo?
Lion's still banned.
Okay. Well, I'm lost for words. That's a little bit weird. When you hate Lion so much that you have to double down on his permaban. That sums that up pretty much to the T, doesn't it?
I mean,
what?
Just in case. You see BB there, he's just in case. Just in case Lion breaks out of the cage. I guess better be safe than sorry. I think, is that the mindset that we're going for?
Every time whenever your Lion wants to break out of that cage, I always think back to like the guy who's like, you ever seen like the meme photo where he's like, let me in, and he's hanging onto the fence, like let me back into competitive play. That's what I think of whenever you kind of said that. Someone make that happen. Can we like make that into a meme? Someone get it going. That'd be pretty cool.
One day Lion will be let out and wreak havoc.
We hope not. We don't want him to wreak havoc, because that is why he was put in the cage in the first place, Ollie.
It's his gun. He's got one of the better guns in the game.
I don't like the gun. I think the gun's...
There's a lot of love for the gun out there.
I kind of think the gun's a bit of a hot, steaming pile of garbage, to be honest, but that's just my preference. I like the high RPM, not the low rate of fire.
Well, what is Bank going to show us?
It's going to be a top floor
defense. Yeah, top floor.
Top floor is always a bomb site, which I think has still more potential than what we're kind of seeing from teams at the moment. I would like to see teams kind of catch on to the realization that, hold on a minute, both bomb sites and janitors are all destructible from below. You look at every single room in towards that top floor, it's all destructible, isn't it? So I don't really know why teams aren't trying to play toward their strengths and play a lot of roamers below with C4s. That's something I would love to see. Valkyrie cameras are great. Pulse is even better in those circumstances. If you maybe have a Jaeger supporting you, you can kind of deny access to any kind of plant that teams want to go for. And even if they want to try and have a little go and try and fight those Pulse and Valkyries below with C4s, it wastes his utility, it wastes his time. That's what a roamer wants to do.
The thing that's really strange about it is if you're attacking onto a Archive Teller's objective, you'd go upstairs and take top floor control and open up the floor. So yeah, I'd like to see it from both sides. I'd like to see both the attack and the defense focus more attention onto the floor of CEO and the ceiling of Archive Towers, because I think there's a lot of opportunity there, especially if you've got defenders that are going to be well established inside janitors and really causing a big nuisance in terms of trying to get the wall open. That can be something that, it could be something that you could root out downstairs, as you say, with a book from below. Our is going to be getting pretty aggressive. He got a glimpse there of the Ash and will convert. Bibu not expecting the shotgun at such close range. And a deep, following up with one of his own as well. Over onto the Monty, no less. Nikki will get a trade. We'll have to just go downstairs to convert that. I do believe that Deep is down. And that will remove a C4 from the board as well.
Yeah, quite luckily for Deep, he managed to drop down the hatch, so it forces Sneaky in an awkward position where he now has to push into an area of the map which has not been droned, not been secured. And he actually finds 2 for his troubles. So a big payoff for Sneaky. A very risky game, of course, tangoing with death in that scenario. But that does mean Vitality are in with a fighting chance. They still have their Thermite available. But the only issue is, you have mute jammers to try and deny the access. So that means Sneaky has to go below and will get rid of those mute jammers. So there is a lot of options here for Vitality. They could potentially make this work if we know that Spark still has some more of that utility with the smoke grenades. He can just walk in and try and cause menace to any defenders, just like we've seen Bibby do in Clubhouse last map.
I think that the unknown factor is Hour playing in that sort of tight CEO area. He has been droned out now by Spark, so his location is going to be known. Sneaky is going to receive that information and find one, gets traded out for his troubles. Brid comes through with another trading back and forth now. And Optic, what a great shot there, managing to down Brid from a distance, forcing Spark to use his last smoke to locate him. But no, he will go down, and Glaz showing his true potential there. We'll find that last kill through the smoke. Could have gone either way, though. It was a very close round for PACT.
It just was the big payoff that Sneaky managed to get with the IQ. That was the payoff. That was the big moment that kind of asserted the dominance for Vitality in that round. You know, they were down. They were 3 versus 5. All of a sudden, Spark goes to risky play, manages to work for it, and then from there, we know the power that Glaz possesses. Just like we've seen, tears apart anybody he fights against. So overall, Vitality, they played to their strengths, and a big credit to Sneaky, especially in that round, because without him, they could not have won that round.
No, he played it very well indeed. And I think he got a little bit fortunate. Deep dropping the hatch and going over on into open area, kind of trying to stay alive and get revived. And Sneaky did get 2 for his troubles, just through the sheer nature that he downed Deep instead of actually killing him straight. So a little bit of luck involved. You always need a little bit of luck in Siege. But, you know, PACT choosing to go upstairs yet again. It wasn't a complete whitewash. It ended in an essentially a 1 versus 1. So I don't think that they'll be too disheartened about going back here now, and I'm sure they've got different ideas on how they want to try and hold out just that little bit longer. I don't think we saw the full potential from any sort of impact tricking, but we have just seen Nathan there use both of his impacts, so I don't think that that will be something that PACT are looking to do in this round.
Whenever I see that Maverick is available, bandit tricking isn't really a thing anymore. I would love to see the Kaid be picked up. I think Kaid's great. He can play right in between both the walls. He can sit there, just toss his Kaids back and forth, back and forth. A lot of teams, if they're bringing Maverick, will probably not bring Thatcher because it's kind of that replacement for the Thatcher. So there is options there if they manage to bring the Kaid for it, but we're seeing Vitality, no interest in bringing the Maverick whatsoever. They're trying to do it the hard way in this scenario. And of course, Sneaky could be an option, send him below again. Use that IQ scanner.
Yep, Sneaky can go below, make it difficult. Control of north windows as well is something that is, does make the job a lot easier. Ash did get killed from the north windows. I believe it was Bibu, who's this time opted to go onto the Thatcher. Opening kill coming through for Spark, finding the head of the dock, playing over inside at the top of main stairs, or the top of spiral, just outside of elevators. Very common duel, if you will, for Glaz to be facing off against an ACOG in that scenario, and Spark just doing the basics very well and picking up that kill. Sneaky just claymoring off the rotation out of Janitors as Qual pushes on up into meeting. Now, I do like the location of the Glaz there, but there is a time where you do need to rotate off that and be able to join the fight for his team, because as soon as a couple of kills start getting traded, he's a long way out of the fight.
It takes you at least 30 to 40 seconds of a rotation to make it towards the skylight, in towards your team. If you're still lurking about at a minute mark, you're kind of real close, because then you're kind of susceptible to not being in a great position to actually help with that attack. Deep aggressiveness with the MPX finds the head on the Sneaky, and Vitality, well, they've lost a man, but they still have the Mortania and Glaz combo available, so they can make things work. Still, Spark on the windows, no interest in going for the rotate as it comes to around the minute mark. This is great work from Vitality. They're starting to focus in towards players towards that long death. So we know that Mute Jammers should be, not Mute Jammers, Bandit charges should be gone by now. You wouldn't really expect Hour to keep Bandit tricking. I'm quite surprised we haven't seen the wall open as of yet, because typically around the 15-second mark, Bandit has his attention elsewhere. Spark has rotated in towards those windows to put himself at more of a precarious position to try and catch some players off PACT by surprise. Quick trades come in, and well, Vitality still holding on to that equal lead with a 3 versus 3. And well, Spark puts Darius in the backseat of his car and drives away with him as it goes into a 2 versus 3, and this time PACT in the losing position. It's down to these last 2 players to play big, and they're starting to waken up. Vivi and Brit have to go big for Mike Thatcher combo. It's going to be how it stands, but Hour popping off at the moment. 10 seconds ago, not enough time for the revive. Surely not enough time, as Hour should be in the correct position to go for the win. 5 seconds, this is classic Vitality, playing to the time as much as he can. Hour plays big with the MP7, doesn't he? One more is going to be pushing him, lies away, plays the time. Hour, literally playing on the Hour, manages to pull big things out of his hat. And well, Vitality, same old Vitality, leaving it to the final seconds, but Bandit prevails.
And PACT just proving that anything Vitality can do in terms of leaving it till the final few seconds, they can do better. Clutching out that round, well deserved. A lot of, restraint, I guess would be the right word, shown there by Hour, just not to peak that, not to get himself in that last engagement. Didn't try and convert the down, didn't get greedy, but won the round for his team, which is the most important thing. Not often that you do see Vitality losing out when it does come to those final few stages. They are pretty good when it comes to, the sort of 20-second and under mark, but just cutting it a bit too fine last time. I can't help but think, and we both commented on it, Spark just played on the windows for a little bit too long.
The way I look at it, if Vitality are having such an issue with getting down the plant, why not just go for what you did last time? Bring the Maverick, it's available, gets rid of that Bandit going for the Bandit trick. Open up the wall, bring your glass, smoke off, walk in, kill, plant, whatever you have to do. That's kind of how we expect Vitality to go for that, but they're playing very strange in how they're going about it. Typically, if I kind of see Maverick available for Bank, whenever Habana is also banned, you would like to bring both hard breachers, because then you have that option for the downstairs in towards, this vault area, the security. You can open up those hatches with Maverick and possibly try and save an exothermic for the wall going in towards A.
We don't see enough Maverick play, and it is a big shame because there's so much potential with that operator that it's really not, scratched the surface yet. And when Hibana's banned, he should be the default pick for the player that was going to play the Hibana in a scenario where you're bringing both when you're bringing both Thermite and Hibana. I think Thermite and Maverick is equally as viable. We've even seen a game where it was, Thermite and Hibana banned, and then you have to bring Maverick, and it really does go to show just how powerful he is that teams are able to win on attack with a double hard breach ban. You do see that very rarely indeed, but yeah, a little bit strange. Brid using one of his exothermics on the elevators as well. So it looks like a backside push, which really isn't something that you see all too often.
The thing about backside pushes is, sure, you have two hatches to work with. You have that main desk hatch that drops right in towards that vault. Then you have the elevator hatch. Looks good on paper. You have two hatches to play about with. But the fact that both of these these drop hatches into the bomb sites, they are bottlenecks. They are death traps. If you fall down, the defender will see your legs first before you see him, because there's no blind spots. You just drop down, you die automatically. Anybody sitting in vault has cover behind the desk. You drop an elevator, you're just asking for a smoke canister to be chucking at you. That's literally why we never see any back pushes. Sure, we don't see smoke this time, so you don't have to worry about that issue, but there's still C4s on the line. There's still C4 that can be chucked straight in the elevator, and the only way I ever see back pushes work is if you have a banner and you hot drop 5-man push the back, just a quick rush, which is kind of what we see more so from ASL Prem Vexed.
Yeah, and it's the element of surprise, and it does put you in a good position if you are able to get your opening kill or so. You will be in a good stead. But PACT is standing firm. Mira grabbing the first one over onto Qual. Darius with one back onto Sneaky. A trade will come through. Eventually, Vitality do respond with one of their own, but a C4 toss leaves us in a 1 versus 4. And well, that was closed out very quickly by PACT.
Well, like I said, it's so easy for the defenders to have so much control. It just bottlenecks them in. You can't do anything about it. It's just chokehold after chokehold. Vitality, still questionable things that they're doing in this match. They say, oh, they're saving strats. They're saving strats. No, it's not really how you should be putting yourself out. You still want to play your game. You still want to go for the acceptable pushes, not trying stuff that is a little bit stupid, that never works. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know if it's because the mirror's made a way through that we're seeing that backside push come through, because obviously having the mirror window to peek off is going to make planting downstairs very difficult, and just the push in general. typically that mirror will be banned for Bank, and that won't be something that you're able to deal with. But with the combination of Mirror and Maestro, I'm not sure if Vitality are just saying, look, we don't want to deal with that. We're just going to go for a backside push. If we win, we win. We take the loss, and then we'll move on to the next site. I'm not sure. It could be a possibility. But we're going to be looking toward open area in round number 4. PACT currently in the lead 2 rounds to 1. And this game certainly isn't over.
We will see this open area. I think there's only been one time where I've seen open area work a charm, and that was Pentasports versus Team Secret on Bank. And that did end up in a Pentasports victory. And there's one operator that I've seen that was really strong in this scenario, and that was a Clash, which dominates this particular bomb site. I'm pretty sure actually we've seen Team Secret play Bank on the Prem finals, and they also took the Clash. And the fact that Clash can stand in so many areas in open area and just gain intel, because if you look at open area, it's a big empty room. Open up hatches, you cannot play in that no longer. But if you have that shield in front of you, you can gain intel, and you can also stun and slow anybody in the way that Bank is kind of played as a much more slower paced map where it takes a time to prep and set up and then finally go for execute. I love Clash in this bomb site. I'm quite disappointed why we're not seeing that from PACT.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for a Clash over on inside this bomb site. It can really help you deal with any pressure, as you say, from upstairs. Looks as though we are going to see the pink Monty edition as well from the Rainbow is Magic, which is always cool to see. Not too sure about the camouflage. I think they might spot him coming, but they should give that away anyway.
You never know. We could see the big signs that says "Don't shoot." Oh, does he have that? I think he does on his shield. Does he? I hope so. You know, the big massive letter says "Don't shoot me, please." But I couldn't really see the angle.
Anyway.
Does he have it? No, I didn't even see it again. I want to know if he has this. The crucial things we need to talk about when casting and analyzing. Does he have the "Don't shoot me, please" on his shield?
I'm sure that time will tell. He is, however, making good progress on into the site, finding out that there is a rotation through on into the small office area just outside of open, and then on into staff room as well. So looks as though Archives is going to be a key area for Vitality to try and take control of, as once control of that is gained, they can pretty much split these 2 bomb sites in half and put pressure going on in. First kill, however, will come through for PACT over on Qual if Sledge does fall.
I'm so happy that he has that, because that's worked a charm. You see, Optic didn't shoot him just for that split second, and Bibi capitalized on. That's the power that we see from the weapon skin on the shield. Spark, somehow he's managed to find his way in, but quickly has been shredded by Deep in the Valkyrie. And it's down to Bibu on the Montagne. Whoa, I'm surprised that Deep didn't just swing around and shoot Montagne as he was taking that goo mine out of his foot. It will do the business nonetheless. Why are they killing guys whenever they're asking him, "Don't kill me, please," you know?
Well, you know, PACT are doing very well for themselves at the minute. I think that's a round that they thoroughly deserve.
Strong round. Like, even them pulling it off without the Clash, been more so impressive. I think that the capitalization and the coverage that they had, you know, you talk about that, the moment where we seen Glaz swing on round to try and eliminate Deep. Great coverage from the other players of PACT to make sure that doesn't happen, because then it could have went to a 2v2, and that really could have took us anywhere.
Yeah, I think PACT, if they are going to stand the chance with coming away with a draw or a victory tonight, they're going to need to get a good early lead on their defense, as it can be a little bit easier to defend onto Bank purely because of the fact that there's multiple options for bomb site location. So there's plenty of different things that you can try and do. You can also roam fairly, you know, well with there being 3 staircases. It's not always that you've got 3 staircases and such clear lines of rotation in terms of hatches as well. So PACT certainly making the most of their defensive phase here on Bank, and Vitality just a little bit lackluster. They could certainly be doing a couple of things a little bit better, but as we've said, this match isn't going to impact the standings any, so it could be that Vitality are just relaxing and having a bit of fun with it. But PACT is certainly having a good showing and showing why they made it into the Challenge League in the first place.
Still have to give credit to every team that is inside of this Challenger League. We know the final standings, 4 teams gone, 4 teams move into next week for the playoffs. I have to give credit to every team because every single match we have been thoroughly enjoyed at the very edge of our seats. So a big credit to all 40 players here, and of course any subs and stand-ins that also played. A credit to yourselves, a credit to the community. I'm sure everybody also enjoyed watching all 8 teams, and the competition for this Challenger League has been the best to date, and that's saying something whenever we used to have Empire Ints running about this scene.
Yeah, exactly, and it just speaks to how good, you know, Pro League is going to be next year as well when these teams, you know, do feed into that if they do get through, of course, in playoffs. So, you know, it's so good for the scene and for Challenger League to be growing in the way that it is doing. It's very infused into the future of esports, you know, for Rainbow Six Siege. But Bibu narrowly missing out on that kill there. He is going to get punished. Optic using the dock and the ACOG there and those long angles. Qual trades one back, however, making this a 4 versus 4.
But as we know, Doc has those stim pistols. That's why he can be utilized as a great fragging operator, can take these aggressive fights, takes a bit of damage from the gunfight. Oh, look, I can just heal myself back up to almost full HP, but that doesn't last long whenever you have a Capital breathing down your neck. Also, Hour, who tried to have a little bit of a roam game with that alibi, gets sent from whence he came, back into the shadows you go. And PACT now on the receiving end of a lot of detrimental pushes from Vitality. The nade lands correctly, and look, even Deep saying, nice shot for himself. Well, more of a nice nade, it would be an NN in that situation. As it's down to Darius and Hour to see if they can struggle on and see this round out for PACT.
Yeah, they have a tough job to do. Hour, of course, very lit as well. Darius has got a good few hit points to play with, but control is rapidly being lost as Vitality are executing onto the site. Now, they've got plenty of time to play with. They've got over a minute left on the clock, which is an eternity if you are Team Vitality, as we know they don't need a lot of time at all to be able to execute and get a plant off, or of course just get all the kills instead. Darius knows someone's playing on the window and he's careful not to make any sort of rotation. It's going to force him into a bit of an unfortunate position there as the challenge will now come through. He does find one near the circle desk area, but will get traded out almost instantly. Hour making a late rotation, trying to cause some impact for his team, but at this point 3 versus 1 with 1 hit point left. He's 1 bullet to all of these guns, and he will have a very tough time of it indeed. He does find 1 and 2, so all of a sudden he finds himself in the 1 versus 1 situation. Capital smokes off the rotate and makes his way on into sight. No diffuser in hand. Hour could choose to just run away at this moment in time, but no. Spark has recovered the diffuser and it is going to be forced to plant. The timer will hit 0 before Hour is going to make his push on in. And well, this should be an easy round for PACT, but no, he's missing. He's going to allow him to get the diffuse down. He's going to come out of there, just find the kill. The MX Storm doing the business at close range. And what about that for a 1 versus 3 clutch?
Oh my. PACT. Why couldn't they have done this during the start of the season? Because they would have been in much more of a better position during the standings. They should never win this, and yet they do. Makes no sense to me. Vitality are now doing what N did to them, and that is through the rounds and give your opposition a free round.
Just strange. I really don't understand it.
I know. I know what it is. Vitality are saving strats, Ollie. Saving strats.
I mean, there's saving strats, and then there's, you know, what's the likelihood that they're going to play bank.
And then there's throwing rounds,
and
yeah.
There's throwing a 1 versus 3. Like, that isn't saving a strat. That's genuinely getting outplayed. And, you know, Hour's got to be super happy with himself for that one. As, you know, it's one of the better clutches that we've seen this evening. But how many 1vx clutches have we seen tonight as well? We've seen a ton.
We've seen a lot of clutches. I think this is just kind of the time where teams are really getting into it. Last night, you throw everything out on your stall. You say, there you go. Let's see what you can do against them. Well, Hour literally said, oh, look, I've gun skill on my table. I'm going to use that. And he used that to perfection against the players of Vitality. So as it stands, going into our final round here for the defense for PACT, they're sitting 4 rounds to 1 up. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't be the thing.
No, it really shouldn't, and this wasn't what we were expecting at all. moving into this, we were really expecting Vitality to have a strong showing and kind of try and just shut PACT down. But in fact, quite the opposite has happened. And I think, you know, the banning phase could have been taken a little bit more seriously from Vitality. I'm not saying that that's why they are losing at this moment in time, because of course they are an attack and they took away Lions. They've got more attackers at their disposal. But it just seems like Vitality aren't hitting the stride this evening. We did see them struggle as well against End. There was some, you know, flares of brilliance and some good things that they did, but again, some basic errors. And they're not really doing the basics too well this evening.
I'm quite surprised that Vitality haven't stuck to their guns. You look at the two defender bans, Smoke and Echo. The two operators that are known for denying plants are not off the board. This is where Vitality should be playing to their strengths. Why aren't they going for open up the hatches, rotate the server, open up the wall, and go for the defuse? That should kind of be the play. I'm quite surprised we're not seeing that. Vitality taking a very odd direction, because they're also not bringing that Maverick that we talk about. Maverick, great for upstairs if there's bandit tricks, and also great if there's going to be Kai tricks on these hatches in towards those open area hatches.
Yeah, Maverick for the Cades, and you know, just Maverick in general, because you're going to be able to try and shut that mirror down as well. If the reason that you're not pushing the typical push through servers is because you're worried about mirror, then pick the Maverick and deal with the mirror. Open the hatch, make it awkward for mirror to be able to peek on out of there. Qual falling very early indeed. Deep gathering all the information he needs using his heartbeat scanner. He's going to go for another, but doesn't get quite as lucky as Spark picks up a double as Darius tries to come in and trade that one out, but will be unsuccessful. This is a bit more infusing for Vitality, and they could stand a bit of a chance here if they are able to break through and try and open up this wall.
3 versus 3. It will be the triple heavy units ready to survive this onslaught. Vitality finally starting to get back into the swing of things with a much more basic and safe push that really can't go wrong with. And whenever there is, like we talked about, those operators, Smoke off the board and Echo gone, then there really should be no issue for the players of Vitality to make this plant successful. Capital bolts making good area of effect work to try and deny access to, of course, that Kai who was just lurking behind that table. And Sneaky, being a solo push, will find 2 kills for his trouble, and it leaves Optic inside of a 1v4. See what he can do with this AUG that did recently get buffed as well, so there is something to work with, but maybe holding on to that angle with the ACOG is enough to see out the job, so it will not be a 5-1 sweep for PACT. Instead, it goes 4-2, so there is still hope for Vitality.
Yeah, and that's the Vitality that I think we've been expecting to see all evening. Adapting very well, picking the Capital so they're able to deal with the mirror and make her not unable to push through the rotate and try and deny the plant. Sneaky, with a little bit of pressure coming from Garage as well, just really developed the crossfire and made it very awkward for anybody at Impact to play on inside of that red corridor. And that's the Vitality that we've been expecting to see. It's taken them 6 rounds to get there. Now round number 7, we're of course switching sides. So let's see what they've got for us on their defensive phase. They are going to be going upstairs toward CEO as well. And PACT, they have brought the Maverick.
Yeah, they brought the Maverick. They've adapted. They should know that, hey, Haban isn't there. We need another hard breacher to get rid of hatches. Oh, look, Maverick's available. He also deals with all the bandit stuff. It's just the correct decision that Vitality never went for that I don't agree with. But Vitality have brought the Kaid. So Maverick doesn't really affect Kaid as much as what he does with bandits. But then they've also decided to bring Optic as well on the Thatcher. So they do have the double denial for any electro device to try and deny access to those thermite charges. So they have correctly made their choices. I think it's a very strong lineup. They also have Nomad, who you have to also keep in mind. It's great for Bank. You talked about during the pre-match. The roam potential on Bank, massive potential.
Yeah, there really is. There's obviously 3 staircases. The air jobs are going to help somewhat to try and limit that roam potential. You, of course, you only get 3, so you can put 1 on either staircase. But, you know, the way that you use them is entirely dependent. There's things that can be developed with claymores and flank drones as well, so you don't always need to use all the nomads. But I think the only thing maybe that the PACT lineup is missing is maybe some sort of smoke. try and get a plant off, because with the way that they've lined themselves up with the Maverick, the Thermite, and the Thatcher, that's dedicated for one thing, and that's getting a wall open. And now once the wall's open, what's the plan? Are they going to try and plant? Are they going to try and, you know, just pick off kills through that? I think that's where I'm interested to see how PACT play this.
Nathan will be using those Maverick calls that he's made for himself to try and find an early pick. As soon as you start to pile on the momentum, you get those man advantages, especially for the top floor. There's a lot of angles defenders have to be cautious of, so then having extra men to go possibly in towards those windows towards north side, pushing up Spiral in the back, just more options that defenders have to be scared about. Well, Bibu, Nathan, take a seat as you get blasted back from that Maverick hole, but he is still open to Maverick hole, so it's still another, like we talked about, another option that defenders have to worry about. And watch Optic, wow, all the way from the roof down for the window, kills Bibu. Spark, pick that bull out of the skull hour, because that was incredible from the Maestro. So it's still heavily contested, a 2 versus 3, but PACT having the upper edge.
There's been some nutty kills traded there. Darius going to find a headshot onto Spark, and it's going to leave it all down to Bridge. Finds one onto Deep. C4 toss comes through, and that's onto where the diffuser is down on the floor, but it will not connect. It is going to, however, provide him a line of sight, which he isn't going to use. He's going to choose to rotate back up, so he's basically giving up the diffuser and the plant in this circumstance, but he is in a 2 versus 1, so positioning could be key, especially with how long is left. Oh, I'm not sure if Optic did actually mean to fall down the hatch there, or if he is purposely going on this rotate, but he looks like he's going to establish himself at the top of the stairs. He's going to see a flash of Brid as he moves on through and convert the kill brilliantly. PACT providing a great showing there on attack.
That was excellent from PACT. They did everything they needed to do. They let Vitality just sweat it out, just force them into the oven, don't let them breathe, give them no breathing room, because like we've talked about, these French sides, you give them one opportunity to slip up, or one opportunity to capitalize on your slip-ups, they will win that outright. So you have to give credit to PACT. They really played out their skin there that round, but also Vitality. Some of the shots they were hitting were incredible. You know, that shotgun blast from Bibu, the LMG spray. Still Vitality showing a lot of promise.
Yeah, the mechanical gun skill shown there from from both teams really, particularly from Vitality through the Maverick holes. That, you know, it's not just through the Maverick hole when you're right up against it. It's through the Maverick hole when you're in like another room away. Like, they're the kind of shots that you're really threading the eye of a needle. And Vitality have shown us there that they really do have this mechanical gun skill. But again, not able to convert the round into a win. Not really able to have the answers and to get the trades as they are coming through from PACT. And PACT are playing exceptionally well this evening. 1 round away from guaranteeing themselves a draw. And I think that we're at least going to see a draw tonight, if not a PACT win.
Another update over on Rainbow Six BNL. We still have that match being played out between Trust and End. Trust currently up 5-2, so even if some Miracle Supremacy beat Eminem, seems to be Trust are still looking to walk away with that victory nonetheless. So there is still a little bit of consideration for Trust. They're still getting the wins on the board, making them look as strong as they can. But as it stands here, another 5-2. PACT beating Team Vitality on Bank. So let's see where PACT go with their Lockers attack. Last time it was a CEO, which I think they played straight to a T. But this time they'll be facing much more of a unique roamer strategy being devised by Vitality, as they've opened up some hatches. They've opened up the hatch inside of the small office that allows you to look straight in towards that A bomb site. So Vitality playing very aggressive with this roam game. They've got some reinforcements in towards that kitchen, reinforce all 4 sides. So it does allow players like Qual to have a little bit more aggression, a little bit more safety whenever it comes to playing Ela with that Scorpion Evo.
I think the way the PACT are trying to push this, they could see some early success here, especially with the Nomad. It's going to make getting out of open area alive very difficult indeed. Nathan does get a peek there over onto Ela playing over inside of Office, but doesn't manage to land many shots, if any, as pressure now is fully being mounted onto open area. Legion being pinged as well. That is going to be sneaky. Pre-fire shots do come through. Although a crossfire has been developed here, it's taken a long time to clear out these roams. We're at the halfway point of the round now. Spark from the hatch from below. Demo, as you predicted, finds one over onto Deep.
No real surprise. Still, PACT have a lot of things to worry about. There's still Goo Mines lurking about. You still have that Ella inside of that staff room. Quite surprised we didn't see Nathan spot a potential leg. Could be able to drone out the Ella here quite safely, but at the moment for N, they really need to get these picks on the board. They need to get rid of Qual, because look how much time he's already wasted. And if you think about them, just rushing in, dropping hatch, it will be a bloodbath, like we know about. Vitality, they keep the mentality right, they keep it strong, and finally, after so much time and utility and lives being expended, Qual gets eliminated, but the work's been done, the damage has been done. Vitality still mounting on, PACT bleeding all over the floor, and they will bleed to death as Spark puts the final bullet into Nathan. So Vitality, with their first defense, they have a bit of a bite back coming on their hands.
Yeah, they really do. They prove themselves there on defense. I think that's much more typical of what we were maybe expecting from Vitality this evening. The way that they were able to hold onto that site in such an aggressive manner, just keeping control of open area to the bitter end, getting kills from the hatch, from downstairs over inside of servers as well, just really shows the value of you know, playing aggressively and playing a little bit differently. I think had PACT read into that a little bit sooner, it could have been viable to try and take blue control, try and take server control, get the wall open, and play for picks there and play for players that are trying to rotate back down into the site. But it's easy to say that with hindsight, and it would have still been very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I think the way that Vitality set that up, it maybe just needed more speed in clearing them out. I think that's the only real way that you're going to be able to effectively deal with that.
That is a viable strategy that we do see some attackers take, is, oh, look, they're holding this side of the map, let's just not go over there. It's kind of like Oregon, where teams hold meeting. Some teams just decide, right, we're just going to sanction off that double door meeting, and then just play our game pushing down the stairs. But in this scenario, the way Vitality set up, even if we seen that server being taken by PACT, they open up the wall, they try and go for the defuse. The fact that the hatch was open means that you cannot go for the safe defuse, because someone can play the hatch from above, they'll see you before you see them. That's literally the option that Vitality kind of played in towards, and once again, Vitality, more aggressive. Sometimes we do see that double wall open, but it's typically feet holes, never really a big rotation hole like that, Ollie. It's more so, more contained, and also Clash being brought. What do you think about the Clash here for this Teller's Archives open area hold?
I think it could do real good work. You commented earlier that Clash is really good for holding open area. Often a way of holding either open area or Archive Tellers is to try and hold it together. And that's essentially what we're seeing Vitality try and do here with B-Boot picking over onto that Clash. You know, clashing any sort of 1 versus 1 situation is going to be a nightmare to try and deal with, just because you're not going to have any chance whatsoever at getting anywhere near. And if it's clashing one other defender, well, we all know how that ends. Super difficult operator, really got to be shut down in a pair. No capital being brought on the side of PACT, that can often be a good way of dealing with that clash. But I think that if control is able to be kept of open area, and if Clash is able to be kept alive until maybe the last 45 seconds of the round, you could see another round here going towards Vitality.
PACT all starting to gear up in towards that lobby, so we could be on for that potential A push, where you go over the desk, you open up the wall, you try and execute in as fluently as you can. Also, even though Vitality are playing aggressive in towards open, they have gave control to PACT the upstairs hold. So they've gave control of all the destructibility that Sophia can use. She's also brought breach and charges to add, so this is kind of your in-between operator for your Ash and also your kind of Buck in this scenario. Even though they do have Optic with a sidearm shotgun who could be used as a bit of a Buck substitution, but in this circumstance, well, breach and charges will do the job. So certainly it will be this A-push onslaught for PACT, but look at this synergy from Bibby and Spark. Bibby walks up as the Clash, you can't kill him. She can see you, and then surely Bandit will probably swing around and manage to finish you off, but the defuse has been planted as we go into the post-plant scenario with all 5 on each team alive. PACT have to try and keep this as tightly contained as they can, but Bibby's still up there causing havoc with the shield, being able to gain intel, but nobody's there to capitalize. As I say that, Spark is there to capitalize on, and this is where the retake has to come in from Vitality. PACT sticking it as strong as they can, but more kills start to pile on board. Vitality gets it right back out, so it's still stuck at 3 versus 3 with the diffuser ticking down almost 2/3 of the way. Qual aggressive finds Hour and will begin the counter. Diffuse optic has been down. It's down to Bibu and he manages to find it as well. The retake from Vitality. Excellent stuff. The French take over the Poles and it goes 5-4 going into round number 10.
Vitality proving there that they are a top tier team. Great retake. Again, not worried about the time, not overexposing themselves at all, doing what needed to be done. And like we said, like we predicted, BB on that clash influential in how that round played out. Despite the control of upstairs, despite the fact that the diffuser was planted, just the sheer confusion and the distraction that causes when you're moving on to a post-plant situation. It just wasn't enough. Well, it was too much, I guess, for PACT to deal with.
Let's see where we go next. Will seem to be a CEO office. Vitality not opting for that open area, whereas whenever PACT in their defense, they opted for the open area, but did not go for the tellers. So, personal pick bomb site, I would imagine. But Vitality always kind of struck me as that defensive side where they would go at every single bomb site, just any rotation. So, potentially, we've seen CEO office, we've seen lockers, we've seen tellers. I'm very surprised we didn't see the office from Vitality.
You know, it just comes down to personal preference, doesn't it? I mean, it's something that we see, you know, time and time again, is that, especially on a map like Bank, I don't think there's any real advantages to be gained versus open area, going open area versus tellers. Open area, you've still got a lot of destructibility above you. You've still got, you know, difficult angles to watch. But with the way that teams hold them and tend to try and hold them together as one, I don't see any advantage to going, you know, particularly to one or the other.
Let's see where Vitality will start to put all their eggs in towards their defense for the CEO. Mira being let through. That's actually something we didn't touch upon, Ollie. Mira, an operator that was really always banned out in nearly every single map she played, but especially for Bank, she has a lot of strong power positions. But there is some weird ones from Vitality. That mirror window on that lone single wall heading in towards that A-bomb, I don't think I've ever seen that mirror window being placed there. Typically it's on the double so you can peek in and out. Very risky one to go for, especially with window play being as so heavily used as it is for PACT.
I think with mirror being banned out so frequently, I'm not saying that players don't know how to play with the mirror, but I think players just kind of get used to playing without the mirror, and sometimes it's just not something that you need to bring because it is going to do more harm than good. Sneaky opening things up there with a kill over onto Nath on the Ash, just trying to get something going, but getting cut down in the process. Deep choosing to be the one that's outside on that repel with the Zephyr. I'd maybe like to see Zephyr more inside the fight. I think the Lifeline's got a bit more value, you know, in the early stages of the round in terms of opening things up, destroying any evil eyes that are necessary.
Castle barricades.
Castle barricades, just anything. I don't think that the Zephyr on the window is all too much of a good use of her utility. The wall, however, will start to be open, but no, it will get impact tricked.
Quite surprising that we're not seeing the Kite or the Bandit being chosen for Vitality. There was no Maverick on the board for PACT during that the picking phase, so surely they'd have seen that and say, oh, no Maverick. It'd just be on here for potential Bandit or Kite, and also no Thatcher. Literally, Bandit or the Kite could have been chosen, and PACT really could not do much against this onslaught. Going up against mirror windows in certain positions. Whoa, deep on the window. Finds Sneaky. Threads the needle. Still on those windows. You say you didn't like him playing this position. Working out really well at the moment.
It's Caster's curse. You call something out and it changes the course of the game.
It literally just happened there.
Over onto Deep. And he will pay the price for playing those windows. I think he still had 2 stun effects left onto his lifeline, which could have been handy, trying to break their way through the defense in this final 30 seconds. Jackal there just trying to get some footprints and see if he can grab a ping on into sight. Free-fire shots come out from Maestro. That's going to be Brid, and he is going to see some success. Ball finds one of his own. Spark, another. All now lies in the hands of Aura. He's done it once on defense. Can he do it on attack? The Claymore got one for him. I thought he was going to do it. Effective 1 versus 1, but Brid comes through with the Bailiff.
Not every day we see a Bailiff. Not every day.
I think that's just how lit Hour was at that moment in
Yeah.
time. We've
Mhm.
seen him do that on defense a couple of rounds ago, clutch out that 1v3. As soon as that Claymore kill came through, I thought, oh no, he's going to do it again. It's going to be a real big upset. But no, fortunately for Vitality, Brady was there with the Bailiff to close out the round. 5-5, all even so far. What a great showing from PACT this evening. They've really done very well to get to 5 rounds off Vitality in the way they've done it.
It's gonna go the full distance. We will see 12 rounds being played here. Who will be the victor? Or could we see a draw? Vitality, Locker CCTV room. Let's see where this takes us. Once again, bringing the Clash. Are we going to potentially see Clash play upstairs in that open area? We know that Vitality last time on this defense, they were very prone to trying to deny access to any of the hatch control. They had it open for a reason so they could try and drop down it to escape. Or, if we kind of talked about it earlier, PACT just sack off, trying to go for the room clear out, try and push their way on server, rush aggressively. You have the hatch to deny the defuse in that scenario. The overall for Vitality, they have more control in what they are doing in their defense. PACT really haven't been able to do much coming in towards these attacking rounds. Because as it stands, we have seen 3 rounds on the bounce for Vitality. So they've really started to shine throughout these entire defense.
They're doing a very good job on defense, and I think that's just due to the nature of defense. On attack, they were finding themselves getting a little bit too aggressive and really falling into very well-placed traps from PACT. And I think that on the Vitality on the defense, they're playing their own game a little bit more, and they're doing a better job of holding angles and getting trades when they come through. I think they were suffering a lot due to timing on their attacking phase, and that could have been one of the reasons why they did lose a good few rounds to PACT there. But they're choosing to do a slightly different strategy. Not a lot of presence in open. You can see Nathan there clearing out with the drone. It's almost like he doesn't believe his luck. Open area isn't hotly contested as it was last time we saw this bomb site. It is in fact going to be pretty much free real estate for PACT to just go in and take that, but it has took a good minute of droning to do so.
It's just like the old bait and switch that we're seeing from Vitality. They do a crazy strategy that crippled PACT in their attack, and then this time, I'm just going to say, that was just a one-time thing. Don't worry about it, guys. And, well, PACT were very cautious in how they wanted to approach. Instead, they opted for Bibu playing on the stairs along with Spark. And also, we'll be seeing some Thatcher grenades get rid of any utility. So those ADSs, those EMPs, great utility being used by those EMP grenades. And also, not forget, that shield is classified as an electronic gadget. So if you EMP, she can no longer use that stun, that taser on it. So there is options here for the players of PACT. Well, here comes the quick Sophia stun, but no! I'm quite surprised he fired 2 in. Why not 1? Peek didn't get it. Fire another one in and go for the peek. Very questionable.
Yeah, a bit of a waste of utility there, because that would have been, one of your only good ways of actually dealing with Clash at any sort of a distance. You're not going to be able to develop a crossfire as long as Clash is playing the top of those blue stairs. And provided that Bibu doesn't get too over-aggressive and overextend, he can play these stairs for the remaining minute of this round. With 3 of the PACT players stacking up all alongside the Skylight hatch, it isn't looking like they're making good enough progress. And I think that this one is going to go in the way of Vitality. But the push is going to come through. Spark does find one onto deep. Darius trades it straight back out. Clash left, just trying to slow down the push. Now, it needs Hour to drop aggressively down the hatch, but there's already still somebody playing down behind the server stack. And, well, he can't afford to do that as the Thermite, as they are going to need Thermite to open up that wall. The drop comes through. He will grab one onto the Legion. And another one over onto the Clash. I think that was from the hatch. Nathan playing the hatch to perfection there, developing the crossfire, but 15 seconds-ish left to go on the clock, and still a C4 in the hands of Sneaky. It's going to be very tough for for PACT to try and get a plant off in this situation. Pete's coming through. Vitality do see one down there. Sneaky doesn't manage to detonate his nitro before getting killed. Nathan is going to fall as the defenders clutch out the round. What on earth happened there? So close for PACT, but Vitality managing to hang on.
I'll tell you what happened. PACT just threw around. They did not cover the single door. Qual just swings around. Oh, there's the planter. Unbelievable. Once again, coming right down to the wire. That should never, ever happen. Just mind-boggling to say the least. But anyway, Vitality at least secure themselves a point. Doesn't matter. Every single team inside this league, their standings are confirmed. Can they add some victory points onto that? And can we see them go on and take the win, or will PACT bounce back and take a draw for themselves? We'll have to see as we head into our final defense of this evening. We're going to Tellers and Archives once again. No clash. No clash this time, Ollie.
Nope. Vitality feeling like they've done the clash thing. Now they want to move on to bigger and better things. BB this time opting to take Bandit. Maybe looking to keep hold of the wall that goes into Tellers. I'm not all that sure because there is nobody on site aside from Brid, who's going to be making some holes upstairs just above his head, as he wants some sort of vertical angle there to play with. I think Vitality potentially going for a heavy off-site presence in this round, as we don't see many of them committing down to the bomb site there.
Bark gonna get some cameras outside to potentially play around the window play that certainly can come into big effect whenever Vitality are so adamant in trying to hold upstairs this time. Bit of a reverse here. We're kind of seeing Vitality hold open area. Nobody from PACT wanted to go open area. They instead decided to attack, going from above, using Sophia and the breaching charges to open up those different rotations, cut-off points. But this time, Vitality, they're going to give them open. They're instead going to try and hold the top of that CEO office. So let's see how this fares for themselves. A little bit on the fence with this one, because typically I think upstairs attacks, or not upstairs attacks, upstairs room clear-outs, very simple to do in my opinion, because there isn't that same reinforcements being placed in towards that top floor. So it should be fairly easy for PACT to just have a solid room clear out.
Yeah, and if PACT are quick enough in doing what they're doing, oh, how are they just trying to grab that one tap? Didn't quite manage to make it through the balustrade. But yeah, I think if a roam clear does come through, PACT could see some success. But it looks as though we're going to see a heavy push up main stairs as they do look to try and clear out this roam game. Nathan not wanting to overexpose himself. He's working off intel, gets some good shots in there through onto BB, but doesn't quite manage to land as much damage as he would perhaps have liked. Pushing now up through front desk and over on inside of CEO. A lot of players up here now for Vitality, and these need to be cleared out quickly by PACT if they are going to look to try and get this draw. Deep grabs one over onto Sneaky. Nathan there, unfortunately for him, misses his shots, and BB will punish him for it. Optic holding a slightly longer angle as Deep is now inside of front desk. The push coming through in ones and twos, though, is not going to be enough to try and root Vitality out of that CEO room. And Deep maybe would do better now to rotate out of there. Try and join up with his team.
Final minute. Can PACT find the draw? Or will Vitality have the nerve, have the ball, and be able to stick it out throughout the entirety of this round? Wall will be opened up, so it does allow the players of PACT to at least have something to try and push in towards. Darius may be looking to play aggressive, he is an IQ, but for the most part, PACT starting to submerge themselves and try and push in, as that is exactly what they will do. IQ taking the lead, but where's the support? Where's the follow-up? Where's the follow-through? And there's the follow-through, as it will be Darius doing it himself. We'll find Brid, but the planter has been down by a nitro cell previously, and here comes the roamers. It'll be down to Bibu and Spark to try and retake this, and they certainly will do. They have holes from above, and here comes the plant. It has to come in quick from Optic, because I'm sure the defenders will be breathing down his neck momentarily. But he will not be planting inside of the A bomb site. It will be a B site. Bibu finds the planter, and that'll be all she wrote. Team Vitality take the win in the final match of the CL season. 7-5 is how it goes. We have just seen 5 defensive wins for Team Vitality on the bounce. My, oh my. Incredible stuff for Team Vitality. PACT. Same old PACT.
It kind of isn't the same old PACT, though, because they took 5 rounds. They just really struggled to deal with Vitality's unpredictable defense. Vitality, 1 minute they were defending all on site very aggressively. The next, all on site. The next minute they're very aggressive. You know, Vitality are just the team that can, and they really showed us that this evening. But PACT, what a great showing from them. They did a very good job to take those 5 rounds, especially in their defensive phase. So, you know, very well played to the PACT guys.
Like I said, the fact that Bank has so many ways you can defend one bomb site just plays into that funness that we kind of talked about. But overall, I think Vitality just being that dominant, assertive pressure that we know. So how about we bring up our entire results for this evening? Let's see how